Fallen heroes returning home. President Trump delivering some long-awaited news for families of service members killed in the Korean War this morning during remarks from the White House. Take a listen.
At this moment, a plane is carrying the remains of some great fallen heroes from America back from the Korean War. I want to thank Chairman Kim in front of the media for fulfilling a promise that he made to me, and I'm sure that he will continue to fulfill that promise as they search.
Joining us now is Claudia Rosett, Independent Women's Forum Foreign Policy Fellow. Thank you for being here. The 55 sets of remains which are coming back to the United States are just a small portion of, I think it's like 52 or 5,300 in all that North Korea has. So is this a legitimate move by the North Koreans, or should we be expecting more?
We should be expecting more. Look, it's a good thing for the families, and we should welcome home every one of those men who fought in an incredibly important war and held that line in the end. But there's a great deal more North Korea should do. It should ship home the rest of the remains that they have. It needs to account, Kim Jong Un's regime, Kim Jong Un, needs to account for the people also who have been abducted by North Korea over many decades, from Japan, from Europe, potentially even Americans. We'd like an accounting on whether North Korea ever did kidnap a young American named David Snedden 14 years ago. And then the further accounting, I think we should expect in this way of sort of restoring doing things that matter in the way of effectively saying, sorry, we're returning these, is we still need a real account of what they did to Otto Warmbier, the young American college student who was finally released after more than a year held incommunicado with such severe brain damage that he died.
Yeah. I want to keep talking about North Korea, but we have to get in the fact that Vladimir Putin has invited President Trump to Moscow, perhaps after the visit to the United States that President Trump has offered after the first of the year. How should we look at this? Should President Trump go? Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What does this mean?
Well, first of all, I think it means that Vladimir Putin is very good at stirring the pot in Washington, and he's just done it again. It's not a formal invitation. He mentioned in a speech that he has invited Donald Trump to Moscow, and the White House responded, well, they're open to considering the idea if they get a formal invitation. Well, in Washington right now, as I think everybody knows, to mention Russia is to set off hysterics on all sides.
Yeah, it's not to Russia with love.
No, exactly. And right away, this turns into people sort of leveling accusations at Trump. How dare he even consider it? And at the same time, actually, I don't think that it's time for hysterics. This is possibly somewhere out there. I don't think that President Trump should say yes. If he meets with Vladimir Putin again, I don't think it should be on Vladimir Putin's ground.
Gotcha.
I do think if he does it again, it should be with some clear idea of where this is going. And probably more should be said to the American people. But I wouldn't panic yet. This is kind of way out there.
Okay, but let's move south from Moscow over to Turkey. The president has said, and Turkey is a member of NATO, but has said to the Turkish strongman, dictator, whichever term authoritarian you wish to use, Mr. Erdogan, that it's time that the U.S. will impose large sanctions on Turkey in retaliation for long-time detainment of Pastor Andrew Brunson. And they still have not released Pastor Brunson. Do you think we're going to see movement on that, or will Erdogan stand up to President Trump?
I hope so. I mean, the term I would use for Erdogan at this point is dictator. He's been in power first as prime minister, now as president for 15 years. And Turkey, under his rule, has been going in a terrible direction. Will he actually release the pastor? I hope so. I don't think we know. But I do think that President Trump is taking the right approach. He's not trying to sort of appease and soothe Erdogan.
Erdogan's he's a NATO member, yet isn't he buying arms from Russia?
Yeah, this is the problem. Turkey is in a very bad transition right now, and I think drawing some kind of clear lines with Turkey is a good idea. Now, it is tricky, and Turkey has an interest in remaining friendly with us to some extent, But
Okay.
Erdogan has been trying to play everything against the middle. And I think to say America doesn't abandon its own is a very good move by President Trump.
Claudia, appreciate your being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.